everybody. All right, let me see. I'm still new to this, so bear with me. Uh, some reason or another, it is. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I've been following PDiddy, and a lot of the things that's been going on with his life lately. I kind of wanted to start y'all out with covering where he came from, family, his life in Harlem, according to records and videos that I have found. His whole family's been involved in the drug business, the streets, music, rap. And I'm hoping that with what I'm going to be covering, we kind of get an idea of Sean Combs before he got where he is today, and how he compares himself to his own father. So bear with me. All right, let me do a little sharing here. All right. Now, this here is just, I've been doing genealogy for years. And I wanted to share a little bit about his family and about him. He was born in Harlem, Manhattan County, in New York City. I'm guessing it's probably at like a province of Manhattan. He was born November 4th, 1969 in Harlem. He grew up on the streets, much like the rest of his family. His dad, when Sean was 3, unfortunately, was murdered. Now, his mother, as far as I know, is still alive today because he just gave her a big fat check and a car to celebrate her 80th birthday, or maybe it's 84th, because I think the one I found was a little bit later. His dad, unfortunately, was involved in drugs, gangs, his uncles also, so that's what he grew up on. He didn't know any different back then, as a young teen. His mother, to protect, had told him, until he found out later, that his dad had died in a car accident. Now, he didn't know about, he don't remember, according to statements he made about his family, he didn't know about his dad's past before, because he only knew him his first 3 years of his life. Most kids at 3 years old don't remember a lot about their parents, their relatives, their siblings, and such. In 1987, his dad, correction, back it up. His dad passed away January 26th in 1972 in Bronx, next to Central Park West. According to all the documents I have found on his father, his mother is Janice Smalls Combs. See, I have a gallery here. This kind of gives you an idea of some of my where I have been working on some of the articles, uh, the obituary for his dad. He had to go and search this up. He was involved heavily with a known drug lord named Lucas, and Nicky Barnes was a both Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes were both close to him, although rivals in the streets. That's who P Diddy learned about. That's just a little bit of what he learned about himself growing up. Now, with that, let me switch back over to now. I found some articles on his dad showing that he was some of the stuff that he didn't even know. I am sure when he went looking for his info on his dad, this is what he's seen when he did any kind of research. You know, he said he went to one of the libraries and found out so much about his dad. Now, I'm going to go and stop sharing that. So, all right, chat, load up. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate you. This is just a little presentation that I'm going to show you that I was working on late, but I was working on it. Scared the crap out of myself. All right, now this here is a little bit about Sean Combs. Since then, not just his timeline and everything, but this is what I'm hoping to do is cover some of more of his childhood, his parents and his family life. And then I'm going to work on his career and a lot of the parties he's been involved in. This young man is only like 4 years younger than me at this point. And he's a music mogul. He's has car collections galore. I mean, he started from the streets and made himself bigger and better. His mother got him out of Harlem and put him in a private Catholic school. Put him in a private Catholic school to keep him away from the streets. She didn't want him growing up on the streets in the way that, her husband was, and how life was on the streets there. She wanted him to get out of that. This is just some of the things that I made earlier today. Some of the different images. All these images are credited to his Facebook page, which, let's see, let me drop that. Why? I don't know why it's not letting me see the chat. Type in chat, go figure. Oh, there we go. It might help if I scrolled up. All right, this is his Facebook page. And when he first started out, once he became of age, he started his Bad Boy Entertainment, which was founded in 1993. According to, let's see, where did I put it? I thought I hit it up. Let's see. Oh, Now, let me share this real quick. This is just some of the things. And it's true. You'll always win when you tell the truth. Haven't we all discussed that over how many years? Probably here on YouTube alone. Telling the truth about yourself. Telling the truth about what you've seen on these streets. I can only imagine what he has gone through trying to keep true to himself, true to his line of clothing, true to his family and his kids, keeping his kids really separated from the streets and YouTube and media. They're there, but they're not part of it. And that's part of, you know, I've seen that you always win when you tell the truth. And that was the comment he posted on his Facebook page. And honesty is always the best policy. Now, something else that I found was this picture here. When you're going for greatness, sometimes you got to throw yourself up against yourself. In other words, if you want to do better, you got to look at yourself. You can't make yourself better if you're not treating others better. In time, it is just that. We have plenty of time, as far as we know. Life has its curves. We all know that. This is one of the magazines. It was in color, and I went and made it black and white. Oh, cool, Chopper. I'm glad y'all are here. Yeah, it is. But I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot about rap. I've listened to some songs. I've listened to some of his songs. I don't want to play it because I don't want to get a copyright strike on this. Hello, Okie and Grandma and Teresa, Chopper, all of you. I hope my music isn't too loud. I tried to tone it down. Let me see if I can bring it down a little bit more. And I have copyright and just want to be sure. Dang it. There, maybe that's a little lower. It's not in everybody's ear. All right, there was something else I was looking for. Figure. I guess not. But I thought I had some tickers. Where did they go? No, I don't want to see private chat. All right, I'm missing something here, and I don't know what it is. First time I've ever used Restream, to be honest. And considering StreamYard is getting testy. All right. Yeah. Well, anyways. I know my ADHD squirrels, but there's just some of the pictures. This was a eyeglassware image that I found of him, and of course that's my thumbnail also. That I made sure that I gave credit to it at the bottom on my thumbnail. So, all right, now. So, who of y'all like rap music? or R&B. Maybe that's what I should say. R&B, rap. He's into many different uh, genres, from what I understand. I don't think he's ever stepped into the country genre like some of the other, like Jelly Roll and a few others that started out in the R&B sectors. Thank you, Andy. Chopper, so do I. On the big words. Sometimes I need to find me that little squirrel that Grandma Sherry and put that up in the corner because that's how I'm feeling right now. Being new to all this, at least especially covering P. Diddy. Now, there was something else I wanted to share with you. Just some of the businesses that he is that he has, just as kind of touch base. Let's see, where was, oh no, actually his kind of a brief biography. Let me add this to, well, kind of a maiden journey, Denise, in regards to P. Diddy. I have several other videos. Please make sure you subscribe and all notifications. I'm not always online, and yeah, I'm a little rusty because it's been a few months due to real life stuff going on. But yeah, oh, who was that? Hey, voices. Well, true. I agree with you on music. A lot of the rap that I've heard in the past, it's like scream talking. You can't really understand their words. And then there's other songs that I've heard that is more. Oh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? You can understand the lyrics. You know, that makes the song to me instead of just being, just screaming the song, or, it's so loud and so fast you know, you can't decipher the words. And if the lyrics aren't included so you can hear it, you don't know unless you listen to it several times. Then, and it happens to be a song that you really are into vibe with, uh, then yes, that's you you learn the lyrics pretty fast. That's the way I am with a lot of, like, Santana. Okay, I don't think that I don't know if they call that R&B or what, but I like their song "Smooth." You know, um, that one is, I don't know, mellow. Country music's always been my favorite because, and probably all of you other music genre members don't realize that if you play a country music song backwards, they get the house, the dog, the cars, and they get their one woman back. With other music, especially like the heavy metal, back years ago, they used to claim that if you played it backwards, oh, well, still voices for the black sheep, but it doesn't matter. It got several voices out here. um, uh, there's if you play it backwards, years ago they used to say that it was words of the devil. Now that was back in the 70s and 80s that I heard that remark. That was like a big thing. People, that's what people would avoid listening to that because there was always somebody out there trying to say, play that heavy metal backwards, like Ozzy Osbourne. Some of his songs are pretty wild. But if you listen to him later on in life and listen when he's talking with his son who's been in the paranormal field and the music world, uh he's not at all like that. And his kids say he was never ever like that at home. So we can't always go by what music songs, you know, what we see on screens isn't really the way they are in real life, behind the scenes with family. So that's kind of where I was thinking as to, with Sean Combs. Hello, Remy. Thank you for coming. You know, learning about who these people are outside of the music industry, outside of the cameras. You know, we only know what the cameras show us. Just like on YouTube, we only know what that person is like by looking at their avatar. Or even if they do cam up, I'm not going to at the moment. My hair is a mess. And be honest, um, it's been one of those days. I've been lazy and my ribs are still hurting from the fall the day after my car accident. But it and I love Santana too. I love a lot of his songs. Hello Petty, welcome. Um, you know, Back to music. I am getting sidetracked. My bullet point. We don't know what PDiddy's like outside of those cameras. We got so many paparazzi out there. I mean, really, if you look at it, we got paparazzi right here on YouTube that we call them stalkers. Blonde Betty. But if you look at them outside of YouTube itself, are they not paparazzis trying to get that almighty secret picture? I look at it that way too. As to his history, I didn't know that he actually started a school in Harlem. It's called the Capital Preparatory Harlem Charter School. And he started that because of his teachings, in that Catholic school. And I will drop, and he got that built in Harlem in 2016. And Dr. Steve Perry joined him with his information in spreading the news, college, prep and everything else. They teach, and it's a 6 through 12 school. But it's music. It's involved with music too. His career. Let me see if I can get this added. This is the link for the school that he got started in Harlem. Yeah, exactly. He's working with kids. I mean, did he really do all the things that they're claiming with underage? Or is it a money grab? Some of those accusations, those allegations are from years ago. And because there's that gap where they can file, I don't know a lot about it. I'm going to be researching it, so bear with me. Um, you know, we don't know all about that. We're going by what others have said. The media claims, uh, past individuals have claimed, as to what he allegedly had done. And I find it ironic that why now? You know, right before it's supposedly not supposed to, not be gonna be able to file that kind of suit. We don't know what his behind the scenes are. We're going by what media and people like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I happen to like Jaguar Wright. I've been listening to her. She seems pretty cool. Uh, and on the subject, yeah, yeah, true, Remy, true. I mean, I don't know a lot about this music genre, but isn't all the music genres possibly guilty of similar? Hey, Emmy, glad you made it. You know, well, are they evil or is it just what media puts out there? You know, we all know that some parties can get pretty freaking wild. We all know that there's those private parties like P. Diddy's white parties. Um, and allegedly, according to the thing, kids were supposed to be gone. Yes, yes. So ignite. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I I heard about when Tupac died that Suge Knight was with him, and he was severely, was injured also. Um, I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole, but yes, I know Suge Knight, and I know that there was a big, wall, you might say, uh, rivalry between P. Diddy and Suge. Uh, Jaguar Wright, she has a lot of, I don't know, she's interesting to me. Exactly, exactly. And he spent a lot of time with him. And you got to figure, after his dad died when he was 3, he only had his uncles. You know, his dad, dad and mother's siblings to help raise him. And all more of the street, drugs, and God only knows what. And is that his grooming as a kid? Yes. Oh, yes. Jaguar Night is definitely a lot to take in for sure. I've been watching her, um, watching the interviews. Gene Dale, I've been watching his interviews, and you know, I find him surprising, Gene Dale, as to P. Diddy, um, and that connection. You know, yeah. Well, welcome to true crime and a little bit of drama. Some of my videos have a little bit of trauma in it. I hope you stay around. There's plenty here. Um, let's see. I need to do something real quick here. Grandma, where you at? There you are. Let's see. Uh, There you go, dear. Yep, I added you. You have a rent now. I keep forgetting I gotta switch that over to uh my YouTube side, so I make sure that I get that. Anyways, and if you could, Grandma, uh, drop their let's see, let me check here. Oh, you definitely are new to this neck of the woods there, Black Sheep. A couple years in. Thank you, Steph. I'm a little, as you say, sidetracked. My own doing. I've been trying to get on with that. Uh, True. That is so true, Remy. It really is. I mean, because when you look at those who have started from the bottom and you work your way to today's life, I mean, can't tell me that P. Diddy's life did not start with drug sales. And he got out of it briefly. And then once he got out of school, out of the Catholic school, you know, oh, well, if you could, would you please drop Chopper's link for me? I would appreciate it. I've got, I think Arctic and Earth also still as as mods. It's been a while since I added some mods. Anyways, music. Um, if you look at every music, now I don't know about country music in the realm of, in all honesty, drugs use or sales, alcohol use or sales, it all started from the streets, whether it's in California, New York, Orlando, Miami. These kids, especially like P. Diddy, Sean Combs, he started off the streets. His family run drugs. He was a hustler. P. Diddy said this himself. It's his own words that he has said that his dad was a hustler and a drug user. And Grandma, definitely drop your own also because I love your vids. AMAC, Black Sheep, Voices from Black Sheep. If you like games, word games, like doing trivia, AMAC here also does those, and it's fun. We all have fun in there. Whoops. But yes, many of the people here voices for the Black Sheep. Yes, it is. It can help people or it can break people. It all depends on how you use that money. It's how you use the money, how you apply it to better. Yes, yes. The one with the beautiful voices for the Black Sheep. She has a beautiful voice. The smack one who makes root comment. That must be somebody else. I don't know. There's only one AMAC I know. Maybe she does both. I personally haven't seen her be rude. We can get a little spicy. Yes, he did. And only because his mom would try to protect him from the streets. Yep. Yeah, it was. He already had that feel before he got into school and before he got put in the Catholic school. And then when he got out, even though he had that college education and everything, and you know, I think Remy that having the influence of those who he, you know, grew up with, family and Clive, you know, I think he had, I don't know, he stepped back into the wrong way. He should have stuck with just the music, stayed away from Harlem, and I don't think all this would have happened. I mean, I don't know, but when you're raised around that kind of atmosphere, um, till you got out of school, before you went into school, even kindergarten for that matter, to getting older, you know, going to college, coming back out of college, he starts his bad boy entertainment. He gets into his own music. You know, yes, very true voices. It, AMAC here does have a beautiful voice. I've heard her sing over some of the ones that she's done. Very beautiful voice. I didn't know she could sing until someone, and I started listening more to some of the songs that she was singing with. Well, right, exactly. He rose up into that. Yes, headstone. Thank you, Grandma, for dropping headstones. Voices for the Black Sheep. Uh, Headlines covers a lot of current events, and there's a little mix of everything. I think you would be interested in that. In her channel also. There's Joneson's channel. She is a regular here. If you've not been there, Voices, I think you might like hers also. You know, even here on YouTube, we have several talented people that I didn't even know was in the music. You know, hey Mac, I didn't know she had a beautiful voice. Uh, I didn't know there's one other creator out there that used to be part of a band. Uh, he goes by True Crime Cafe with Dago. Him and his son on occasions, Friday or Saturday night, jams out, on their guitars. Years ago, via a game, thinking about music, uh, I met a gentleman that played this one particular game, and we got talking in TeamSpeak then. Didn't have Discord yet. Discord hadn't come around to anybody at that point, Um, if you look at Quiet Riot albums and you see that real tall dude versus the other ones, that's the one I was talking to. Voice to voice, just like when we get into Discord voice chats. Yeah, we have them all over. We don't know what they're like outside of like YouTube or cameras. If you're in the limelight, like PDiddy, what was their life before all that? What's going on in behind the scenes that we don't know about? There's a lot of accusations and you know uh the allegations of him transporting people from out of state to his parties. Well, if they're adults and that is what they're advertising themselves for, we don't know. I haven't seen any ads. uh, you know, oh well. uh, Voices, he does a lot of true crime. I will say that he used to be in a different one, but now he does a lot of true crime. I do watch him along with Arctic Fox uh, and Duchess. She's another one that does a lot of true crime, keeping to the truth, uh, bringing out you know, the missing and those. Right, a lot of people do though. I mean, I guess part of my thing with P Diddy is when he dropped out of school and got into music and started hanging again with all of his family members who still in the drug world, um, gangs. When you live there, you know, to stay safe, a lot of people join it just to stay alive, or they stay silent. They, God forbid anybody speaks out against what they see. We see something, say something. Right, exactly. Morals over money. Now, I do know that P. Diddy is involved with that church, that school. Okay. He is the one that got that started and built in Harlem to give those kids 6 to 12 a chance to better educate themselves, because not all of them, that charter school is for, when they say charter, that's for those low income, and they have to meet certain standards. And the reason why I know part of that as to charter schools is years ago, when I lived here years ago in Utah, it was my second time around, even though I have very deep family roots from my mom and dad's side, okay, that helped build Salt Lake and Utah, okay. Separate from that, when I lived here years ago, my dad drove for a bus company, for a tour bus company, and every year, his charter school would request three bu- three buses, okay, and they came from New York, the Bronx, in fact. These kids from this charter school had no idea what it was like to see Zion's Canyon, Zion's National Park, Bryce Canyon here in Utah. Uh, just the natural beauty of everything. All they've seen is concrete jungles. I can only imagine that's probably what P. Diddy's seen and grew up in. Um, these charter schools have to meet these kids have to meet certain criteria, even though they're low income. These are low income kids going into these charter schools. Okay. They have to meet certain criteria to get into it. Um, and they have to hold up that, in the sense, when they go on field, no drugs, no hanky panky in the schools. They have to hold a certain grade average to stay in the schools, because it's free to them. This charter, when they go into these charter schools, it's free for them. Okay. But to stay free and be able to stay in there, they have to meet, good grades. I think one of them was at least a C or B average, while in school, in that charter school. Um, no drugs, no alcohol on the property, no drug arrests. And these are the ones that came here, okay, the ones that came here, yeah, no hanky panky on the buses, 100%, because the charter school that came the one year that I joined, that me, dad, and mom joined, my dad helped book it. Uh, he was no longer being the driver, but he was the one that they set out their arrangements. For 5 years, my dad did that with this particular charter school. Okay. These kids originally started, the original charter school was in the Bronx. And they have one in Houston and they have one up in Boston. Josh, who is the one I know, anyways, who is was the lead person. I got to meet him that second to last time me and mom and dad stayed in the motorhome. Two of the kids were doing hanky panky in the bus. Guess what? They got flown back with uh, a parent, okay, back to New York because they weren't supposed to be doing that. You know, girls and boys were not supposed to be separation. They had to hold a certain degree, and because a certain grade average, and that was the rules for them to come here. They had to hold a certain grade average, no hanky panky shit at all. The whole thing was free to these kids to go on this trip. They were trained, in a sense, months in advance on water intake because you get it, and they came in the latter, I think it was June, is when dad had the bookings going on. And it gets hot in those canyons. These kids have to know how to, enough drink in the water. Those kids, I was amazed to see these Bronx kids and never seen anything like this at all. Mother Nature outside of the, concrete jungle. These kids help clean up every night, every morning and every night after making breakfast and dinner. They made their own for everybody there. My dad, of course, helped, but the kids did this. It was teaching them how to, be self-sufficient, also. And I can imagine the charter school, that's kind of what his PDiddy's plan is for the charter school. That is in Harlem now. That was, let's see, I know I wrote it down somewhere. Let me find it. 2016 is when that charter school was started and built in Harlem. And then a Dr. Steve Perry is also part of it. And he is part of the one up in Connecticut, I believe it is. But, right. But it with these charter schools, I don't look at it as them taking advantage of the less fortunate. They're trying to help build those less fortunate up. There's a lot of inner city kids that they don't want to be in gangs. They don't want to be in drugs or anything like that. But they can't afford to go, continue schools because that does cost them family money. I mean, if we look at our city taxes, the schools, our schools charge taxes for our kids to go to school. It's not free. But these charter schools are a free set situation by those who are very well off. And welcome back, Chopper. I don't know how to. I'm trying to incorporate what we've all learned in our lives and where we grew up. Not all of us have been so unfortunate not to have that education, or not to be in the wrong areas. and it's not by choice. It's because you can't afford to get out of it. You can't afford to get your kids, your youngins out of there because it's too expensive to move to another area to stay safe, to keep your children safe. The Bronx, Harlem. I mean, both of those have history way, way back before even P. Diddy was even born of being rough. Chicago. What about all those kids that they can't, their families can't afford to put their kids out there into better schools? They can't afford it. They did. I look at what P. Diddy did in getting this school going in Harlem. In my opinion, was one of the best things that he could have done for all of them. It's the school that he is who built, who started it, and it's a charter school, just like what I was discussing. Um, this is a link to that school. There's a link for that school. So if you know anybody that lives in Harlem or Connecticut, yeah, he is. He at least got the one in Harlem going. Now the other schools, he has helpers with those. He has been in contact with a lot of those. So for that's what I have a hard time with some of these old accusations of back in the 1990s. He supposedly did something to a 10-year-old or 9 or 10-year-old, and now they're just you know now it's just being discussed. Is it a money? Is it a family money grab? I don't know. Justin Bieber. Um, I probably butchered his last name. Sorry. That's what it looks like to me. Um, some of the vids, the interviews that we've seen, the second one to me he's very hesitant. Now, we all stumble on our words. I'm even guilty of stumbling on my words in it coming out wrong. It's not the way it was meant to come out. You know, okay, okay, Steph, I'm trying. And, we don't know what his life was like. We only hear about it. He don't talk about what he went through as a kid, and even when he got out of college, he had a degree in business, and look where it's gotten. What? What for stumbling on words or mispronouncing Bieber's name? Dang it! Oh well. I know from what I hear, NEC likes just Justin. Um, and there's several others. But how I'm stumbling here. Sorry, I'm trying to get my squirrels back in there, all lined up. Um, in today's stuff, I know, I know. Um, Grain, hello, Grain. Yeah, see, stumble. We all stumble. You know, uh, It happens. It's not that we're trying to be rude or, disrespecting. You know, if someone takes it that way, shame on them. That's why I look at it. But P. Diddy's life, if you really look at before he started Bad Boy Records, in almost every interview that I keep hearing from John Deal, from Deal to Jaguar Wright, to all the other ones, who did they have as their gun people? All right, AMAC, talk soon, hun. Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, listen to all of them, just little bits of information. They have always pointed back to how P. Diddy was raised before he even started Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment. Um, before he even started singing, he only knew one kind of life via his family members. Now, his mentors, yeah. Sing pasta. You two crack me up, A Mac and Lindsay. Anyways, I'm hoping with covering his childhood and what he learned, I can only assume R&B was probably what he listened to as a kid. It's probably what his mother listened to and his siblings. And that was, you might say, the beat of the music beat, the feel, around the neighborhood. I'm hoping someday, I hope his kids, even though dad's rich so far, Alec Carter, I've heard the name. Now, Jay-Z, Alec Carter might be part of Jay-Z's side of stuff. Because I haven't really heard a lot on P. Diddy's stuff. But I could be wrong. I'm going to try to touch on a little bit on my next one, a little bit on the different artists that under Bad Boy Records sponsored. Exactly. I'm always Googling for stuff, but I also fact check that Google. But hey, Jen, I'm just hoping that the music, right? I know, Chopper. It's never really been discussed, in detail. Everybody's assuming that things like that happen. I mean, I don't know. All right. Willow, hello, hon. Glad you made it. Thank you, Grandma. I mean, there's so much information on P. Diddy, but my main thing was starting on, his childhood, going to a Catholic school, and now he's, granted it's been years later, but starting his own charter school. It is run by teachers. All right, Grandma, thank you for coming and thank you for dropping those links for me. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at down the road, doing a part that includes those charges. We know that Sandra was the first who dropped the bomb, lawsuit bomb, and it's just exploded since then. It's sad. Yeah, exactly. Whoa, he's a musician. You know, I heard him sing a few times when I watched his lives. I don't know a lot about his music past, but I know he's in music big time. But anyways, I appreciate y'all coming, and I'm hoping to get part two up by next Sunday. I'll be a little more prepared and everything. Um, I've been working on this for months, a month at least, and yeah, I kind of jumped. I got off my focus line, but it's okay. It helps, when we communicate not only with those in chat who know that music genre. I don't. I'm admitting it. I don't know a lot about the rap world. I know some of the artists by name. Yes, please. I'll make sure that there's some snacks by the door. Maybe I'll make a little overlay where there's like popcorn in the corner or something. But I appreciate y'all coming, and I hope I didn't confuse y'all too much for first time on the PDiddy part one. And we will chat soon. Thank you all. Thank you all very much for coming. And please share this out for those who might want to watch it later. Thank you. See you later. See you on the YouTube.